Okay, we call it the pattern for excellence. And what a lot of people don't realize is it is a structure of conversation. And that is in all aspects. It could be internal conversation. It could be a technician speaking with a homeowner. It could also be your CSR answering a phone call, which is where we started with this. I mean, that's definitely our niche right there. But that would be, so in our wheel, I'll just give you guys a quick roundabout: positive, prepared, listen, care, yes, ask, value, grateful. And so what I mean by that is you start every conversation with a mindset of positivity and preparedness. You listen first, you show that you care, and you say, yes, I can help you with that. You ask the right questions, you build value on the solutions that you offer, and you always end with gratitude, both in mindset and in communication. So knowing that, I think that is definitely the main value that we bring.
Craft Your Life is a radio show for the tenacious, the bold, and those who refuse to settle for mediocrity. We bring together visionaries, game changers, and relentless go-getters who are crafting their lives, businesses, and relations in pursuit of excellence. If you are ready to shatter limits, embrace the amazing, and live life on your own terms, this show is for you. Each episode delivers actionable insights, inspiring stories, and unfiltered conversations that will ignite your drive to win a life worth dying for. Tune in and get ready to live viciously. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Craft Your Life radio show. I'm excited for today's conversation. We have Tatiana Aiono from Power Selling Pros. And if you don't know anything about this crew, or if you do know something about them, they're about helping teams show up with confidence, connect with empathy, and absolutely crush it when it comes to serving customers. Tatiana brings a calm power kind of present that draws people in and makes them better just being around her. I know this firsthand experience. Tatiana has trained thousands of people on how to lead conversations, turn tough calls into opportunities, and deliver experiences customers don't forget. This one's not just about sales. It's about how to show up in life, how to lead, how to listen, and how to craft your own version of excellence. So let's get into it. Tatiana, welcome.
Thank you. That was amazing. I need you to do that every time I speak anywhere. Just
I know.
calm
I love
presence.
that.
No one's ever said that about me, but thank you.
If we could just have our little intros right before we walk into a room all the
Right.
time.
I need it. Music, you know what I mean? It just builds me up when I go out there. That's all I need.
What would be your walk-up song?
Oh my gosh. I actually was asked this song recently. That is so funny that you asked that. I was asked recently, and I'm so lame. I don't even know. Like I think I'm so hyper focused on having the perfect song. I'm indecisive. I can't even decide. Like there's a few that come to mind, but I don't know, like a Christmas song? I'm not sure. So like jingle bells, just get everybody ready to go.
All right. That's
I
cool.
can't
You do
decide. Don't
you.
judge me, Matt. I can see it. I sense it.
Tatiana, where are you beaming in from right now? Where are you at?
I'm in Salt Lake County. I'm over here in South Jordan. Born and
Awesome.
raised.
Yeah.
Do I give off Utah vibes? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like Colorado and Utah
You really
vibes.
don't.
I don't?
You
Okay,
think so? Yeah. I'm not picking up Utah vibes.
okay, good. That's a compliment. Weirdly. Sorry
But
to be
you,
Utah down there.
but you grew up there.
I did. Yeah.
Small town city. What was growing up like?
In South Jordan. I grew up in West Jordan, but the only move I've made in my life, well, as a child growing up, was about 10 minutes down the road. And not far at all. So I've really been in the same area of Utah my whole life. And then I did live in Ephraim. I went to school at Snow College for a little bit, but that's the only time I really spent living outside of the valley. Was
Amazing.
just a few years over there. Yeah, it was kind of
Amazing.
interesting. I hear we live in a bubble, and the more I travel, the more I can see it. But I love Utah also. I don't know if I could get taken out of it because it's beautiful to me.
It is a beautiful state. Geography.
Yeah. Where are you from, Matt?
I am from Michigan. A little Midwest kid.
Little Midwest
Chicago,
kid.
Chicago, Michigan. No, not at all.
No. Okay, I will say this though. Grand Junction, and I don't know if that's exactly where I was. That's where I flew into when I went out to visit you guys, but holy cow, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
I spent decades up in the mountains of Colorado, and Grand Junction now I just absolutely adore. Like, I didn't always really appreciate what Grand Junction was or
Mm,
is, and it's definitely changed. Now it's the Mediterranean of Colorado.
yeah. The
Like,
Mediterranean of Colorado, what does that mean?
it means it's gorgeous. It's just
It
the
is
prime
gorgeous.
weather.
That is true. That is very true. It is prime weather. It's beautiful. I mean, I could have stayed there far longer than just the few hours or the few days that I was. Like it was gorgeous. I need to go back for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're welcome to come back anytime.
All right, done.
It was great having you out here, and for the listeners, I mean, this conversation kind of bubbled up because you came out here in person and did some training with the Cooler team, and it's important. Like, we're talking conversational, we're talking relationships. I mean, a lot of stuff that you do is specifically with CSRs, like customer service reps,
Mhm.
and that is on the phone conversation. So we don't even have what we have today. Like, we're not in the same room together,
Yeah.
um, but I can see you, which isn't always true on the phone, and so it's a little different conversation.
It's a big difference. Most of my before was working at Power Selling Pros, most of my customer service work had been in person. And I think what's really important about the difference between the two is because some people will say in person's easier, some say over the phone is easier. But what I think it is true is connection and my gosh, I'm gonna use a word that doesn't exist. Disconnect. That exists. Disconnect. To connect and to disconnect is both harder and easier over in person. So like what I mean by that is over the phone, it's really tough to connect with someone, but that also means when it's hard, it's really easy to disconnect. And so it's really easy
Mm,
to shut them out as not really being a person. It's really easy to take yourself out of it compared to being in person. So it is harder to deal with an upset customer face to face, but you also create such a stronger relationship with customers face to face as well. And so I think
yeah.
that being over the phone has a very unique set of challenges. Like you're trying to connect with someone when it really is tough to connect. And then you also can disconnect though a lot easier. So there's pros and cons, but it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I'm really excited for where our conversation's gonna go today, and I wanna just backpedal a little bit just to add context. So, you mentioned before you got into your current role, and we'll define what that means in just a moment, that you have been in customer service. Like, where did that start for you? Give us just a little synopsis of your kind of professional trajectory.
Yeah. Okay. So when I I mean, all my jobs have pretty much been in customer service, every job that I've had. And my very first job in customer service was at a pizza place, Big Daddy's Pizza. Come to Salt Lake,
Big
give it a
daddies.
try. Big Daddy's Pizza was great. I loved it. And I would say that so after Big Daddy's, I worked at places like, I worked at like some places like, what's it called? Car washes. I worked at Wells Fargo for a long time. That was over the phone. That was the only job I had that was over the phone prior to coming
Huh.
to Power Selling Pros. So I did work at Wells Fargo for a while. I think the longest job I had, I worked at some restaurants. I worked up at Sundance Resort for a while in their restaurant. Was hostess up there for a little bit. But
Yeah.
the longest job I had was working in the ER. I was an educator in the for Intermountain Medical Center. Oh my gosh, I can't think of names right now.
Huh.
But for Intermountain Medical Center, so I would travel to all the hospitals in the valley and do trainings for all of the new hire registrars. So those are people in the
Oh,
hospital
wow.
that actually do insurance and things like that.
Hmm.
So that was the longest position I had before coming to Power Selling Pros. And since coming to Power Selling Pros, I there's not one job that I look back on and think that I didn't need what I've learned since coming to Power Selling Pros. I was even a haunter in a like a haunted what's it called? Haunted corn maze once. And I'm like, I could have used it there. I could use it everywhere. I mean, it's just crazy. But that's sort of where my history comes from. So I mean, you didn't ask this question, but to be really frank, I did not take myself very seriously before coming to Power Selling Pros.
Yeah.
I didn't. So that was a shift for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What was the catalyst in that shift? Was that just you choosing to mature up, or was there a mentor or a reason? What was the
I love this question. So my mom actually started at Power Sewing Pros before I did. And
amazing?
not to dry out my mom's dirty laundry or anything like that, but she was coming from a divorce and a really rough place in her life before she came to Power Selling Pros. And actually, sure, what got her into Power Selling Pros was her own shift where she was like, I want to dive into like mental health and and just empowering people to be better. And when she said that, excuse me, something popped up on my screen. So that was what got her to Power Selling Pros, and so this is all happening without me really realizing it, right? I'm just a kid doing my own thing, living my own life. I had kids at that point, and I watched her in front of my eyes completely shift, and I didn't really know what it
Hmm.
was. I
Hmm.
didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was causing her, and she would tell us it was about her job and that she loved her job, and I was like, "Don't you, like, teach customer service? What do you need? It's your job," you know? And that was a very interesting thing to see, but of course it piqued my interest because I'm like, "You are everything about you is changing. Like, your love for life is changing. Your the ability to communicate with other people is changing." And I just didn't see what was happening, and she would tell me all the time, like, "You gotta come work for us, like, you'd love it over here." And I really just didn't take myself very seriously. Again, I say that again because I never even becoming an educator with Intermountain, I was like, "Wow, that's a big deal." Like, at the time, I thought that was huge, and I just was so excited about it, and I really just thought, I could be an educator forever and ever, and I'll just go and train people, and it'll be fun. And, I was not making very much money doing that, and it was something that already was more than I thought I was capable of doing, and to even think about coming to Power Selling Pros was so far beyond what I thought I was capable of. And,
Mm.
she just would encourage me all the time and say, "No, you'd love it," and one day I was like, "Whatever, I'm just gonna apply, and who knows what happens, happens." And the rest is history. I've loved it. I've been here at Power Sewing Pros over 6 years now, and I am a different person than I was 6 years ago, seriously. It sounds silly to say that happened out of customer service, but it really did. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It means a lot to me. It really does, and I love what we do,
Yeah.
and I think that I now have a passion for helping other people see what they're capable of as well, and I also don't think by any means I'm done. You know what I mean? I wanna grow now, but even just the drive to want to be better, I used to see people like business owners and think, "Whoa, like, they're just built different," you know? There's something about them. Like, I could never, and then you spend time with so many and you realize how much love they have for what they do, and their just ability to do the things they say they're gonna do is so fascinating to me, and I love what I do because I get to see so many people succeed in their own goals that it inspires me all the time. Like, I'm gonna switch this around just for a second, but even going out to your team, it was so clear right away how much everybody loves you. Right away. I mean, I didn't even ask, and before I knew it, they were like, "Oh, yeah, we love working at Cooler, like, Matt's awesome, best leader I've ever had," like, they were just ready to say it, and I'm like, "Nobody asked you to say that," and they were all ready to do it, but it's because when you really are in this leadership position, and you're doing what you say you're gonna do, there's just I mean, it helps everybody around you, not just yourself. It's kinda crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's amazing. It's a it's an honor and it's humbling
Mm. I feel like are you how
when it's
busy are
done
you on a
well.
regular basis, Matt?
I'm pretty effing busy.
Pretty
I have
effing busy.
jam-packed schedule.
I'm sure you are going nonstop. There's just no way. There's no way to have the team that you do and doing what you do to not just be working hard every single day for it. It's
That's
so
true.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's an effort for sure.
Yeah.
Um, how would you define, this is kind of a two-part question. Defining what you do. And so I'm kind of interested on two different levels. And you'll get this question. I think that there's like the tactical, this is what we do. And then there's a deeper, this is what we really do. How would you answer that?
Okay, that's a fun question. So What we do is we teach companies how to book more calls. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We teach them to
Love it.
create revenue and to, yeah, build their business. That's really what we do. But the only way that is possible is if they learn how to create better connections with other people. That's the only
Hmm.
way. And a big part of that is becoming better communicators. One of the hardest things that I see, and it's a really, I'm sure, frustrating thing to be dealing with for people that are in our coaching program, is realizing their intentions are not being communicated. I can't tell you how many CSRs and dispatchers and technicians even that I've worked with who tell me that they love their customers and they love people and they want to solve their problems. And then I hear their conversations and I'm like, where was that? Where was that? I can't find the part of you that loves your customer. And it's not that
Mm.
you don't, it's that we're not communicating our intentions clearly. And so
Hmm.
it is important to know that your intentions and your communication aren't the same. They don't match all the time.
That's true. I heard somewhere that, like, I'm going to judge myself on my intentions. Like, I
Mm.
know what they are. Other people are going to judge me on my behaviors.
Oh, yeah,
Two different things.
totally. I mean, how could we expect them to judge you on anything else? You know, it's
Yeah,
impossible. But you're no, like you're
it
right. It's
is.
like I
It is.
and I wish everybody was clear about their intentions. I mean that in the way that they do things. Like I think I said this. I say this all the time because it was so eye opening to me. And I wish I even knew who originally said it, but it was basically don't communicate to be understood. Communicate so you can't be misunderstood. And that was
Ooh.
very eye opening to me because I know that there are times when you do need to over communicate. A really good example of this is like tonality in a call. A lot of people don't think their tone matters, or they'll say it matters and they misinterpret it as I need to sound natural. And then that natural person sounds tired because they don't
Mm.
realize they're using the same tone that they would use if they were standing face to face to somebody. And tone isn't nearly as important face to face as it is when you're on the phone. And you
Yeah.
can't.
So, yeah, tone, I just heard. What other tricks, tools? I mean, how do we get better at communicating our intent?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me think. I want to talk about a couple of ideas that come to mind right away. One is listening to people. Real life, I had one of my CSRs tell me she listened so well that the other person had to ask her if she was still there. I mean, she was totally serious when she said that. Totally
Mm.
serious. Like, I was listening really well. Like, someone had to ask me if I was still there. And in the moment, it was like, wait a second. Do you realize what you just said? There's no one in here thinks that you wondering if you're still there is definitely not going to leave me feeling like I was just understood. No.
True.
And, like, I'm not thinking you get it if I'm wondering if you're still there. And
Right.
so it's not about I would say when we listen, we often tie it to our ability to be quiet and hear, and I think that's what people mean when they say listen to respond opposed to listen to understand. And so when you're communicating to someone that you actually are listening to them, it's so much more than just letting them talk. It's however you react to them, are you acknowledging what they said? Are you empathizing with what they said? Are you asking questions that make sense to
Mm.
what they just said to you? Because whatever questions you ask, that's how they feel understood. It's not enough to just let them get it out. The other point that came to my mind right away as well is care and empathy. And I will say this on my deathbed, but doing a job, especially at a business, completing the work is not enough to show your customer that you care about them. It's just not
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And it's hard because a lot of us do, especially with all the conversations. I'm sure you have similar conversations with your team about how much they care about the customer and they want to get it done. And this is something they couldn't do on their own is go out there and fix their own garage door, right? That's why they're calling us. And fixing it is great. They need that, and that's an awesome service for us to provide, but no one assumes we're doing it because we care. They assume immediately it's because it's our job. They don't tie it to intention. They tie it to they assume intention is money.
Right.
So does that answer your question? There's a couple in
It
there.
does. It
Okay.
does. No,
Okay.
and I mean, okay, I'm gonna open up a can of worms.
Okay, let's do it. Let's
My
do it. Yeah.
my thinking has shifted on this in the last 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
Um, I used to think and see it on the wall, and it truly still do. So, you know, what I'm talking about is the AI type of wave, and now we have AI answering systems. And 18 months ago, I kind of saw this. I was like, "Oh man, that's the future!" Like, how amazing would that be to have an AI bot that just goes through the perfect script and knows the perfect tonality and is always awake and fresh. And
Mhm.
what I'm starting to realize um, is you were just speaking to that connection, and it's like to define how do we help somebody feel like we care. Like there's so much nuance to that, and maybe AI can get so good at piecing that together on some level, but yet what I'm starting to see is that the premium level service will stay human because of the value that we can bring humans through that connection. And that piece is the art. Like, I think there's a true art in that. Um, and I don't know where to go or what to do with that, but it is a distinct difference that I'm just really starting to now see because I'm going to say, a low price, a low dollar, like affordable garage door style delivery system could actually go all AI. And when people know that that's the brand and it's kind of like the Walmart shopper, like they just go there, they get talk to AI, book with AI, but the premium level is going to demand a human. And that's where we're going to, you'll be able to get the premium dollars. It's just a different delivery, but those humans are going to be exceptional at being able to make that connection.
Yeah.
And that's what customers are going to ultimately be paying for. It's not
Yeah.
just the thing.
So I've got a lot of thoughts on this. I really want to cover all of them. But I think what you just said is exactly the point. Like, I love that you even use the word art because customer service is an art. It really is.
Yeah,
It's
it
the art
really is.
of adapting to the person you're talking to and understanding the person that you're talking to. I mean, these are things that are not easy to do. And so I want to start this thought off by saying, and maybe you can validate this thought. Like I imagine you have a lot of conversations with business owners. How often do you find business owners really understand the importance of a CSR? What's in your perspective? What do you see? Do they get it or are they missing it?
My goodness. I would say a lot miss it.
I think so too. There are so many resources for technicians to grow. So
Yep.
many. And the fact
Yep.
that so few exist for CSRs, I think speaks volumes to that. That we miss it. And so
Yeah.
the reason I think the reason that we start AI on customer service is a very wide example of how little our industries realize the importance of a CSR. Why didn't they try to replace a tech first? Why did they try to replace a dispatcher first? The first started with CSR because when we think of a CSR, we think that's easy. Anybody could do it. And yet nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it because it's hard. It's so hard to do. It is not
Yeah.
an easy thing. And so I've got a couple thoughts. The first one is that the reason why I think we started with CSRs, and I say started, I know there's a lot, AI is in everything right now, but it's replacing, at least that's what the hope is with some of the way I've heard it talked about. It's trying to replace the role of a CSR. And a lot of
Mhm.
business owners have tried it. I mean, we've had companies come to us specifically asking us, how can you teach my team how to de-escalate after they've been made upset by my AI? Like,
Hmm.
after
Yeah.
they're
Fascinating.
upset about, I know, right? They're upset about the conversation they had with AI. So now I need you to teach my CSRs how to de-escalate the call. And so that's fascinating. I've had owners say, we tried it, it's gone now. So now we want to go back. And so I am under the belief, I'm hopeful enough to think that this is not going to be a long-term solution. I think that there's going to be a wave of it. I do think it's better than a voicemail. So I'll say that. I think AI is better than a voicemail. But I don't think it will replace CSRs specifically because of the art that goes into being a CSR. So sum up that point. That's why I think it happened first, is because we underestimate the power of a CSR. My next point is that as CSRs, I think AI is fantastic. It is an awesome tool. It's an overwhelming tool, a little bit of a scary tool to use as well. But AI will never be as powerful as a human that knows how to use AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
if we learn how to master AI and use it for our own benefit, I think that person is going to be way more valuable than somebody who doesn't know how to use AI. So like I'm running those sounds together. And then last thought, and I think this one's pretty cool. I don't know if we're there quite yet, or maybe it'll be a process for every company individually, but I hope that AI, the existence of it, will help CSRs take accountability of what they do a little bit more. I am hopeful of that. Like, help them see that there is a robot out there that thinks it could do it better than you. Can you believe that? This robot thinks it could be more personal than a person. That is crazy to me. That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
love that.
So
I love that.
and I hope that it will challenge CSRs to be better at what they do. And I've heard Brigham say this many times, and I love it. I hope that they fight for their job a little bit and realize that this is something that we have to prove to our customers is more important than transaction. We have to prove it now and be better than
Mm.
AI. I've got a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah,
I
no,
love this can of worms that you've opened.
I love all those points. And I think for, there's, I imagine a lot of listeners that are business owners or in leadership. And like to your point on just devaluing the CSR role, like it's a frontline, it's the phones. I've heard people setting up, call centers in other countries to get a lower dollar, and like that's all cool. My experience, I was there. I used to devalue that role. And I went to AI and experimented with it and had some upset customers. And ultimately, I was like, all right, that's not a fit. That doesn't fit cooler.
Right.
And then I had different people in that role. But if I'm not valuing it, then they want to move out of that seat relatively quick because now it's viewed as an entry level. And they're like, oh, I want to
Totally.
do this, that, that. And I'm like, okay, but really like that. And so that has all shifted. You've met the young guy that now is our CSR,
Yeah.
and I'm all in. And what I've done differently was just set the stage differently. Like, yo, Carson, this is like the most important. Like, I'll tell everybody, and no matter what role they're in these days, I'm like, this is the most
This is the
important role.
most important.
But
I love it. I love
The
it.
CSR is critical. And maybe it is truly the most important role because that does set the stage for everything that happens after, right?
Yeah.
Like we've done so much to get that phone to ring. Now they visit with our CSR, and if we do that really well, everything else gets done really well. And you can be good at a CSR kind of quickly, but to be great, like that's where the art comes from. And that is a level of premium service that really is going to differentiate a company.
Mhm. I agree. And there has to be intentionality with that. It doesn't come easily. And I think you're right. I also think you're right that every role sort of is the most important because at every point, I mean, you can be the dispatcher calling to confirm the appointment happening in 30 minutes, and they could still say at the end, everyone was fine except for that dispatcher. I mean, she seemed a little abrupt. She seemed a little rushed. I might as well have been an AI bot that call.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do think you're right. There's the real truth to every point matters. And it's not, I mean, even one interaction can derail the entire long-term relationship that we build with the customer. And no pressure, no pressure at all.
Yeah. No pressure. That's why it's so difficult to scale companies, because you have to have a consistent journey experience for the customer with multiple human touch points.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm just my own owner operator, like I can control all that, and to let go is scary, but to
Mhm.
get it right is tough.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine, especially when, I mean, I know that owners like you don't get to just care about yourself anymore, like you guys are get all of these positions and all of the customers under your umbrella of care. And that's not an easy burden to bear. Serious.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I have something to test with you. Do you
Okay.
have this metric? So, what my big question is, and I'm going to test my metric, is how do you know whether you're an owner or the CSR that it was a good call or a great call? And certainly there's one metric of just booking the call. But I think that I win when at the end of the call, a customer asks me what my name is again.
Oh, yeah. Or you really messed up. It's one or the other. You either
Yeah, that's
nailed
fair.
it or that was really bad. Because I've been that customer too. I'm like, what was your name again? Okay, got it. Jennifer.
That's true. Yeah, there could be on one on the other
One or
side,
the
but
other, but you
every
definitely gave an
time it's like
impression, that's for sure.
well, remind me your name again. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes.
Yes, let's go. I know, that is a really good metric. I like that. I like that. I think that for the most part, it's gonna lead to a positive outcome for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely love it too when, yeah, I make a point personally to ask questions like, do you guys do like kudos calls? Like, is there someone I can tell how awesome this was? Like, you deserve like those
Mhm.
kinds of calls too. I would call it a wow call for sure. If a customer is like, wow, you were so great, I want to tell somebody else. Well, what was your
Mm.
name again? Like, you guys are awesome. Like, anything like that is huge. It's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
CSR, it feels so good too.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, a really great call is going to, I mean, that connection that we've been talking about is hitting somebody's heart, making it an emotional impression. So it's like, what was your name again? But I mean, we want CSRs to book calls. That's how we're driving revenue. So that's one piece. But you can book a call and it could be flat, and then our delivery after that comes there, and maybe there's a little uphill climb. But
Yeah.
um, if we hit them, if we, our term for it is winning hearts. Like that's just
Mm,
what we're after. And if we win their heart, there's a little bit of movement, and they're just like, oh, it's hard to measure, but that certainly is part of the measurement.
yeah. I think so too. And I would say when I find a CSR that's struggling with this part of it, I think there's a lot of factors that can go into it. But I want to ask you when you have a customer calling in, even in person. Actually, maybe let's shift to in person. Like, what's the equivalent to what's your name again? Or do you feel like it's the same thing?
Hey everybody, this is Luke from Cooler Garage Doors. Just want to take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, Sommer Garage Door Openers. In our opinion, Sommers are the highest quality product on the market today. We recommend them for all of our residential garage door installs because of the variety of features they include, such as Wi-Fi connectivity and safety features such as a fixed chain, which moves along a secure rail to ensure your garage door opens quietly and safely. Click on the link in the description to learn more about Sommer Garage Door Openers.
From an in-person interaction, somebody walks into my showroom and
Or yeah, or like you're out at somebody's home. Either way.
yeah, I mean, if it's in the context of that first interaction, it could play out to be the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
I've
so.
seen that in the past. Like, you know, I'm intent on getting their name and sharing my name, and then yeah, at the end of the conversation, if I've hit them, there's a lot of times where they're like, "What was your name again?"
Mm,
Or "Remind me your name again," or
that's
they'll
true.
look at my
I do
card
that in
that I
person
handed
too.
them,
Yeah,
and
that's true. I do
yeah,
that in person, even as a customer. That's funny.
yeah, yeah. I mean, otherwise it's a check.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
bought my
right,
service
right, that's true.
and they're smiling.
Got him. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Love. Win hearts. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. You guys have a wheel, principles. Is that what you call them? Principles, or is it the
Look at my,
yeah,
mouse pad.
yeah, creating the wow
Hey. Oh,
experience.
is this even upside down? It looks upside down.
Yeah, it's upside
Yes, the
down.
wow experience.
Don't look
This
at
is
it
what
if
we
you're
teach.
driving. Yeah. Um, we're not going to dive into each one of those, but do you have a favorite?
A favorite is an interesting question. I love them all. They're awesome. And we teach on principles because they're so adaptable as well. But the
Yeah.
yes principle is a principle that that was I call it my conversion principle. Okay, I could probably pick another name, but I feel it helped me really understand what it is that we teach, because when I started as a coach, the principles are there are some things that I was like, why do we teach this? Like, why does it matter? For
Mm,
example, teaching people to stop saying I'm sorry
mm,
was a really hard thing for me to do because I say it all the time. Why does that actually matter? I didn't really understand why that would matter. And there were a lot of things like that. Like, and I've realized with time, there's not one thing that we teach without a real reason for it. And that's important because I don't have conviction if there's no reason to be teaching it.
yeah.
I don't care if there's no
Yeah.
reason. But the yes principle, it was in my own personal life when I was at home with my husband. It's always easier to pick these things out of your spouse. So just, pro tip. But when I was telling my husband I wanted to, at the time I was new at Power Sling Pros, I was still working in the ER doing training and registration. And I told my husband that I wanted to spend the Sunday together with my family. And he and I were barely seeing each other throughout the week. I mean, at the time we were so busy that I happened to have a Sunday off, and I was like, "Should we go hang out with my family this weekend? Like at the park? They're going up to Liberty Park. Let's go hang out." And his reaction could not have been more dreading of that idea, right? He was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I don't." And he just was so bothered by the idea. And my dramatic brain was like, "Oh my gosh, he hates my family. He hates me. Like, why is he even here? Why does he even want to be with me anymore?" And I was so hurt. I go back in the room, and it took me some time to start really thinking through my feelings and my thoughts. And I know that he would never say something like that with the intent to hurt my feelings. I know
Mm,
him well enough. And I took time to really think, what did he mean by that? What could he possibly mean by that? And we finally sat down and talked about it. And we came to the conclusion that what he meant was, with the one day that we have together, I'd love to just spend time with you and Mila, our daughter. We had just our
mm,
daughter at the time. Like, with the one day off, I want it to be you and me. Like, I want to give all of my time to you and Mila. And when we came to that conclusion together, I was totally immediately like, "Oh my gosh, the pattern for excellence works. It works. It's real." And it was so funny because the yes principle, what that one represents is that using positive language will help you focus on solutions instead of problems. Right? It's
mm.
kind of like getting out of your head a little
Yes.
bit. And so
Yes.
it stopped me from thinking, "Oh, he hates me, he hates my family." And it turned it into, he wants to spend one-on-one time with me. He wants to spend time with our daughter. He wants his time to be spent in a more meaningful way in his mind, right? Like, that is what it switched to. And so I was able to bring that back to what we do. And I just had slow little conversion steps with each principle, just like that. And I realized that what we teach is not scripting. We don't teach verbiage. We teach principles. And that makes it a lot easier to dictate, not dictate, what's the word I'm saying? Manage yourself, to really
Yeah.
make intentional decisions when you're basing your actions off of principles and when you understand that. So there you go.
I
The
love
yes
that.
principle. That's my answer to the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. The yes principle. That's so profound. I mean, also, um, you could apply that everywhere, right? And
Yeah, totally.
it's really a mindset of looking for the good. And our brains, I think, are kind of wired just to look for the bad. And so we can just get tripped up into that. And I have a love for the word vicious.
Mm,
And vicious, if you look at the etymology of it, it's more or less something around, two energies that will build upon each other. And so you can think of it like two dogs viciously attacking each other, and one's gonna, you know, try to kill the other one, and it could be a negative downward spiral. But at the same time, like the other opposite is also in existence, so you can spin it into the positive, and you
mm.
could viciously build. And to me, that's where that principle lands. Because if I get in the mindset of like, yes, it's kind of thinking that everything that is happening for me, like it's a yes kind of principle. And it could be very positive. It could be viciously building. It's incredibly potent.
I'm gonna think of the word vicious all the time now. That's so true. We totally connect it to a negative. But it's like true conviction is
Mhm.
to, viciously, intentionally approach problem solving is
Yeah.
sort of the yes. Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite words. I was going to see if I can etymology. Um, See if I can get a better definition for it. But
Next, let's get the definition for etymology.
yeah,
I can get
it's
it.
good stuff. It's good stuff. Tatiana, I'm going to start putting some little curly cues on our conversation here and close loops. I feel like A, it's incredibly fun to hang out with you. B, we could talk about this topic forever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
a
think
deep,
so too.
deep well. Deep, deep well. Um, Talk a little bit. I mean, you came out to our place. I just want to kind of emphasize the impact. Um, for us, I mean, that creates a ripple that, has yet to even start slowing down by any means, because that impacts just goes far and wide. But for folks that don't know, I mean, what do you bring in your trainings, both virtually and in person?
What do you mean would you say bring? Tell me what you mean by that. Like literally? Or do you mean like what kind of content is covered? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I guess what's some of the impact that you can leave or develop or
Yes.
create for people?
Okay, yeah, I love this. So I will say one of my favorite things that we teach is structure. That I think is a really big part of what we bring to the table. In fact, when you look at the pattern for excellence, it looks like a fun wheel of success. We call it the pattern for excellence. I didn't answer your question earlier. You asked me that, but we call it the pattern for success. The pattern for excellence. Wow. Sorry, Brigham. I know the name. I promise. Okay, we call it the pattern for excellence. And what a lot of people don't realize is it is a structure of conversation. And that is in all aspects. It could be internal conversation, it could be a technician speaking with a homeowner, it could also be your CSR answering a phone call, which is where we started with this. I mean, that's definitely our niche right there. But that would be in our wheel, I'll just give you guys a quick roundabout: positive, prepared, listen, care, yes, ask, value, grateful. And so, what I mean by that is you start every conversation with a mindset of positivity and preparedness. You listen first, you show that you care, and you say, yes, I can help you with that. You ask the right questions, you build value on the solutions that you offer, and you always end with gratitude, both in mindset and in communication. So, knowing that, I think that is definitely the main value that we bring is teaching others to really understand how they can create consistency and why I think structure is so important. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have their reasons for why structure is so important, but what I see more than anything is owners or leaders teaching their team, but they don't really know what makes them successful.
Hmm.
Right? So they sort of over explain things and they come up with oh my gosh, call flow after call flow, and not even call flow, but script after script, and page after page of what to say when certain things happen. And it's really hard to follow when you're in the heat of the moment, right? You have to almost memorize that thing and study it pretty much nonstop to really be good at that. But I think that I know my favorite part about what we do is applying structure so that we can duplicate our processes and make sure that our team can be consistent so that a new person can come in and already know how to handle a conversation based off of the principles they already apply in their daily lives. I mean, everything I just went through, even it's not really new, but answer your question, structure is my favorite thing that we really bring to the table and my favorite conversation that we have in trainings and creating structure.
Yeah. I love that. It's beautiful. How do listeners that want to learn more get a hold of you?
Yeah. So we have our website, powersellingpros.com. powersellingpros.com. Trying to remember, I looked it up even before I got here. That's the one, you guys. Let us know and come find us. We love what we do. Oh, guess what? I used to have a podcast. Did I tell you that? I don't think I did.
No, you did not.
You can go on YouTube too. We're on YouTube, and we used to do a podcast called This Call May Be Recorded, where we would just listen and review calls and just talk about how to apply structure to it and, maybe dive into some conversations that people don't always think of. So that's another place. If you just want to sort of study on your own and look things up, that's another place you can find us.
I'm glad you brought that up, and we'll have these links in our show notes too for listeners. I highly, highly encourage you to reach out and explore. But that YouTube channel that Power Selling Pros has, the one that you just mentioned, there's a good value there, and you can train people on it, send people to listen to that, and just pick up good nuggets. So
yeah, there's a lot of content on there.
Glad you brought that up. Tatiana, closing question. What are you excited for? What does like kind of the end of the year or even 2026 look like?
What am I excited for? What kind of
professionally, personally, wherever you want to go?
Oh my
with
gosh,
that.
all of the above. I can ask that anyway. I'm really excited to finish my coffee. That's short term. Short term excitement. I'm really excited about that. Long term, I'm excited about, we've got a lot of events that we're doing. I mean, just professionally, I'm excited about those. I've been speaking at a lot more events. So that's been really fun. Oh my gosh, Christmas? That's a hard question. I'm a short-sighted gal.
You already have your Jingle Bells walkout song.
I know. I got my Jingle Bells. Not just the normal version, Matt. Come on. I got my own version, and it's just in my head all the time.
Yeah, I dig it. Well, Tatiana, thank you so much. I appreciate the framework that you bring. I appreciate the energy and the authenticity that you drive with. So it's been felt and noted, and there's an impact there. So appreciate you. Thank you for the convo today too.
I appreciate it. This was so much fun. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it a lot.
It was fun.
It was fun.
We'll do it again.
Okay, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please know that I am incredibly humbled and honored. I can't believe I'm saying this. We have over 2,400 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we're just growing. It is amazing. And your likes, your subscribes, and your shares have helped us get here. So let's grow this thing together and just know that you are appreciated.